Hi guys, it's Mary. Welcome back to Sydney Grace Sunday, where today we're going to be taking the Be Mine palette. And, you know, I'm talking, so I'm like all over the place, not really doing what I intended, which was a purple look. But I just like wasn't paying attention to what I was doing basically, and ended up in a lot of things that I didn't necessarily intend to do. But I wanted to show you, since that happened, happy accidents, right? I wanted to show you, since that happened, how we can mix colors together again. I mean, we've done this in the past, but you may have missed it. How we can take colors, mix them together, and come up with something entirely different. And in that way, expand the use of what you see right in front of you. So if you like this look and you want to hear me jabber on about different things I've been watching and also paying a tribute to you, then just keep watching. Let's do another look from this new palette, the Be Mine by Sydney Grace. When this came out, I think I primarily stuck in the middle row because I'm really drawn to those shades. As you can tell, I've already got my Sigma Eye Primer stick on my eyelids. And we need to be putting our stuff on our mouth here so it can be ready when we get there, right? Yes, we're gonna honor you today because I don't even remember why. I think somebody said something to me and I decided to go back to the very beginning and check on this. So I want to honor all of you today, but I want to give a special shout out to the people that I know have been here since the beginning. What have you guys been watching on TV? I just finished this morning. Is it Designing Anna? Okay, we got to look it up because I can't just be throwing stuff out here that ain't right. Hang on. This girl right here. If you've not seen that on Netflix, you need to go watch it. Here's the thing. Right? So this girl does all this stuff and she like pretty much rips everybody off for like 200, I don't know, 50, 230, 250, something like that, $1,000, right? But yet Netflix pays her $320,000. Maybe crime does pay. I don't think she's going to learn from her crime. Okay. REPHR 27 into Be Mine. I just did this. I just set it down on there. Whoa. I'm going to relax my eye so that this will fall down on my lid. All right. And we can see this one's starting, but it ain't caught up with this one yet. And then I'm going to just kind of brush down like this so that I coat that whole thing. Anyway. You know, I watch some shows by myself. I watch some shows with Shy Guy. Yes, to those who've been asking me, yes, I do love 1883, which I talked to you guys about when I was talking to you about Yellowstone. Love that show. Love 1883. Do I love 1883 more than I love I can't put them in the same category. They're two different kinds of shows, even though they're about the same family. All right, so Shy Guy does watch it with me. So, yeah, we're having a good time with that one. I've been going back and watching things that, you know, like Mary Tyler Moore. I'm watching the Mary Tyler Moore show again. I am going back and forth between a lot of different things. But I did finish up this morning that story on Netflix about Anna, okay? Watching on Paramount, I'm watching Why Women Kill, and I got Shy Guy to watch the first season with me, but he's just not as nuts about Mark Cherry as I am. Mark Cherry worked on Golden Girls, I think from season 5 on. I'm not sure. I think maybe he cut his teeth on that, and also he did Desperate Housewives, this one, Why Women Kill, and Devious Maids. Yes, I'm watching Devious Maids on Hulu. You know, I just really enjoy Mark Cherry, and I like the way he does his stories and the sense of humor, and it's like funny in a clever way, not, you know, rolling on the floor laughing your butt off funny. It's just kind of that kind of funny. Oh, I know. I watched The Stepford Wives, again, the new one. Okay, well, it's not new, but, you know, the second one, okay, I watched it again because I was talking with my mom and my sister about 1883, and they didn't know that Faith Hill was in that she was in the Stepford Wives. And I'm like, oh yes, I love that dress she was wearing in this scene. And it was like pink and green. And they're like looking at me like, really? You remember that she was in a movie this time? She had a bit part in it. You remember that and a dress she had on? Yeah. Okay, and then my mom said, well, she really liked the original Stepford Wives, which I had never seen, so I did. I went and I watched it and went, whoa, totally not the same at all. Like I would say the original Stepford Wives was more of a sci-fi kind of horror film for the 70s anyway, right? And I wouldn't classify the remake of it as, no, it was more of a, maybe even a spoof of that one, kind of more comedy, okay? The Stepford Wives with Nicole Kidman is more of a comedy, a spoof of the original one. I mean, they follow the same guideline for the movie, of course, but the characters all change and are more modern and stuff. You realize this movie isn't new. You know, what I really loved about the Stepford Wives original movie was seeing all of the references back to that era, right? Our childhood, if you're my age, you know, which, by the way, I'm getting ready to turn 60. It's a big one for me, I think. The 60th, my husband's like, you're excited about turning 60? Yes. Okay, I am, first of all, because I think it's like a milestone. But, you know, recently losing Mel, it showed me even more that every day, don't take it for granted. Okay, you can't assume. When I'm putting on my skincare now, I always think, and Mel's told me this, I don't know how many times we'd be putting on our skincare or something together and she'd say, goals, girl, goals. You're what I want to look like when I'm 60. So don't take your age for granted. I am celebrating 60. I think it's a wonderful thing. And I will turn 60 on March 4th. So it's right around the corner. Anyway, as somebody who grew up in the 70s, I enjoy watching the Stepford Wives original one because I can see things like Tab and stuff like that in there that were part of our culture that really are no longer here. Tab isn't around anymore, but by gosh, I'm still here. I'm still standing. Yeah. I'm just going to sit here and talk and stay doing this all day with Be Mine because I'm distracted now. Let's take the Mel brush and come into I Love You. And if you don't know it, I mean, if you've been around for a while on both channels, you know that the Mel brush is REPHR's 21. This brush, we wouldn't have it if it wasn't for Mel. So that's why I call it that. Let's start right here on my lid. Yeah, just not all the way in. And I'm just gonna pat that down right there. Anyway, there was this one scene in the old Stepford Wives when I don't remember exactly how it went, but I remember they were sitting around and I got a good chuckle out of it. They were talking about like the good old days when they would airbrush Playboy. Has that ever stopped? Trust me, I had a boudoir photography studio in the 80s. Women were constantly after that airbrushed look, you know, for their husbands. And it'd be like, make me look like this centerfold. Okay. I will try my best. And in 2022, we are out of control with airbrushing. That's what I call filters, okay? Making yourself look like you don't, to the point where things like that Anna, here, let's get right back into that first show, the Anna thing, that happens, you know, fake stuff is happening all over social media. And you don't even know. The filtering is so bad on Instagram now that you don't even know if that's what that person actually looks like or not. And I've been amazed at a few filters lately that you've seen me, so you know that's not what I look like. But they're so good that I could pass, right? As that is what I look like. Okay, this is what I mean. Disregard from here down. Because I've not got that good yet. But honey, if you didn't know what I actually looked like, I mean, I'm a little too perfect, right? But catfishing, so big, so bad. And this This will hurt you. This will hurt your mind if you do this all the time. If this is how you see yourself all the time, this can hurt how you think about your real self. I mean, I kind of wish I looked like this, but this isn't what I look like, and you know it. Look at these lips. Oh my gosh, This can destroy your self-esteem, people. In the long run, this can destroy your self-esteem. Yeah, I want to look like that. Can you imagine if I did this every day? But man, what a life, right? That would be such a horrible life to have to constantly make sure that you look like this, okay? When you're going to talk to people every day. You got to make sure you look that way that they've seen you, not your real self. Notice I'm not out here yet, and I'm not coming in because I'm going to use other colors because I'm feeling like that today. Today I'm feeling like let's just, slap some colors on here and see what happens. Let's take this one here, okay? And it's called Crush on You. I'm going to take some of that and come in here to meet up with it. Let's see what that looks like. That's different. It's also darker than I thought it was going to be. It's okay. I do want to lighten that up a little bit, but we need to do the same thing to the other side. Yeah, we're just making this up as we go along. I'll tell you what. Since we're just playing around, let's come into Eye Candy, which has got a green pull to it. And right where those two meet, I'm just going to drop that there. I like that a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and change this shade up with Eye Candy. Yeah, okay. So that looks kind of cool too. I like that color. But I wonder what would happen if we brought Eye Candy over the top of that purple now. Because you know that these, when they mix together, they make totally different shades. Pat that right on top of it lightly so that purple's still pulling through it. But yeah, that's interesting too. And this is how we do it, guys. We just play around. And if you end up with something you don't like, well, don't do it again. But you may find something that you do like. I think that this eye is pulling a little more purple through it, so let's add a little bit more. Here. Let's take this. It's a REPHR 12. It's kind of a dome-shaped brush. I'm just going to dip down into my person, and let's see if we can make this even darker than what I'm already at. And we'll just go like this. Just punch it, okay, because it's a domed shaped brush and we can get by with that. Just punching it there on the outer corner. Yeah, I'm just going to twist that right there on the outside corner. It's getting darker and darker all the time, isn't it? We may want to lighten up here. And somebody just pointed out recently that this palette was a disappointment to them after they got it because it's so dark and not bright. It doesn't really have a lot of brights in it. It looks like color swatchings off of a bouquet is what it looks like to me. I'll show you how we can use it to brighten up this look. There we go. Just kind of smudge that out here on the corner, and if you want a smoky look, you got one. Okay, this is smoky. But we could brighten it up. So to do that, we can get these two shades, or we can even make it more golden by going into Baby Cakes. But we don't have to be dark, and this palette doesn't have to be dark. We can totally lighten it all up from here. So let's see. Let's get a little bit of flirty. So if you get too dark, you can brighten it up. Now this would have been pretty bright on its own. But you see how fast I can lighten this eye look up? Just by mixing and matching. Okay, then what if I flip over and come into, what is this shade here? Smooch. Yeah, let's flip over and get Smooch and come over this color right here and watch how I can brighten that up. It's not a super bright look, but I've certainly brightened up this eye because it was too dark, right? Well, it wasn't too dark, but if you thought it was too dark, and that was just a little bit, you can just do all kinds of things. And you know what another option is? Wipe it off and start over. Now, the trick is, if you wind up with something that you really did love, remembering what you did. That's kind of a trick. We can make this more intense with our fingers even. So maybe I want to come in here and pat that right there and brighten it up even more. Let me get the rest of my eyes done and I will be back. So what I did was I took this tiny REPHR 29 into Eye Candy and brought it under here and in my waterline on top of this Lancome pencils. And then, because I lost more purple than I wanted, I just took this the blending brush and went into Cupid and just kind of drug it a little bit on top here. I like this look, so I went on with mascara. I used to see channels where they'd be like mixing, you know, mixing my Lamar with this, like you're gonna do that, right? And then today it hit me. The reason they're probably doing that is for the same reason I'm gonna do that today, is you have so many foundations, right? Because you're reviewing them and stuff. You don't have a prayer of getting through all these foundations. But you feel a little less guilty if you mix them together. So I'm not telling you to mix foundations together, but I'm just trying like a couple of pumps of this, a couple of pumps of my Tinted Doll. This is the new NARS for radiance. This for my more matte full coverage. And Lisa Eldridge, because why not? I'm just mixing the three of them together to come up with a foundation so I don't feel guilty not using these foundations. Because it's always on to the next, right? On to the next. That should look stellar because they're all three great foundations on their own. Anyway, so somebody said something recently to me and it led me to go look, okay, to see how many people that I know. Now, I know that a lot of you have never commented. Shy Guy and I were just discussing this before I came on camera about how the guy that he's watching will never know how great he thinks he is because Shy Guy watches him on the TV. He's not subscribed to him because he didn't know how. I showed him that. But Shy Guy didn't know how to subscribe to the guy's channel. He would just search for him and then go watch this guy's channel, right? And I was telling him, you know, that guy will never know that how much you like him because you don't comment. You're not subscribed. I mean, he is now, but you weren't subscribed. You know, and he talks about him and watches his videos all the time. But I also love seeing things through his eyes because, you know, when you do something a lot, you forget the very basics. Like I didn't understand that he didn't understand, okay, because he's not a YouTuber. He's not been there since the beginning watching. And so there's things he doesn't get. Like he thinks, and I think my friend Mary Ellen said this one time too. When she first got to YouTube, she didn't know that it was free. Okay, and that was before Patreon and memberships and stuff like that. You know, those things further confuse people into thinking that they have to pay something. So the thing was, he wanted me to explain Patreon to him because this guy has a Patreon. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, why don't you do that? I'm like, well, my channel's not big enough. Who would nobody's going to do a pay. Well, and what would I put on Patreon? Now, I have thought about doing memberships. Like for stuff that's not beauty related, like, you know, just hanging out with you guys stuff, but it takes up time. So, you know, I would charge like, I don't know, $1.99 or something a month for the membership. And in there would be videos like air frying, just stuff like that a few of you have expressed, you know, things that we could do together, hang out. What in the heck am I peeling now down here? I think my neck is peeling. I'm bringing it up to my face. But you know what I mean? So, you know, just like, oh, okay, you guys want to air fry, you want to, you know, do, you know, hang out, have lives or whatever and just hang out. But it's not stuff that, you know, has anything to do with the beauty channel. And most people wouldn't appreciate because I'm taking my channel and going in all different directions with it. So, you know, I'm explaining to him, by the way, if you're interested in something like that, a membership thing where you pay like, I don't know, a couple bucks a month and and we like do a live, or we air fry together, or, you know, whatever. I don't know. Put your ideas below if that's something that interests you. But anyway, I'm explaining to him what Patreon is. It surprised me that he thought he was going to have to pay money to watch, you know, subscribe to his channel and watch it. That's why he wasn't subscribed. Okay, is because, so if there's anyone here who also is watching my channel, maybe you're searching for me all the time, but you think that you have to pay to watch or subscribe, then, you know, you don't. It's totally free. You don't have to do that. Now, memberships or Patreon or something like that, you know, you might have to pay a little bit of money for, and that is announced up front. Anyway, so this leads me back to the very beginning to go look at my channel, because I want to know, like, that person I just said that to, I think they've been there since the beginning. So I went and looked, and I thought, you know what, I'm sure that there are a lot of ladies or gents or whatever on this channel that they have been there since the very beginning, but I don't know about you because you never comment, and don't feel bad. I mean, I was one of those people too. I never commented just because I thought that people could find me. The point is that I used to also be somebody who watched channels and did not subscribe, for different reasons, but yeah, that was me too. So I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, just stating that I can only tell you about the people that I know about, and I can only know about you if you comment and, you know, participate in the channel, right? So I want to honor the people that I do know about who have been here since the beginning of my channel. So I went back to the very first video, okay? Now, the first year, there's a lot gone. I've actually been on YouTube, I think 7 years, not 6, but there's only 6 years showing. I'm going to take this and just, I don't like the way that's looking right there, and blend this out. Anyway, so a lot of the first year is gone, mainly because of stupid crap, like I told you, that I've done with copyright, stuff like that. Okay, I had to get rid of it. But the very first video, that was actually, I wanted to see if I make a video, will anybody watch it? You know, I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I didn't want anybody to see my face because I thought, actually, my family didn't know about my channel. In the household, they probably didn't know for 3 or 4 months. I probably didn't tell my mom and dad that I was on YouTube for like a year. Okay. First of all, because I didn't know if I would stay, and why bring it up if you're not even going to commit to it or whatever. But my very first video is like me in my bed, in my PJs. You only see my lap, and I'm showing you with a hot iron, and I don't remember what all I had, but I am showing you how to depot a Lancome eyeshadow. That's what I'm doing. And I put that up, and it did surprise me that the only person who said anything who's still around today on, I mean, Susan doesn't have time to watch all my videos, and I don't have time to watch all hers, you know. But back then, we watched each other religiously. She actually came on YouTube, I think, a little bit after me, and look at her channel now, right? I mean, we started around the same time. I still haven't broke 20,000 subscribers. And Susan, I'm talking about Little Poet, look how big her channel is. So anyway, Susan is in the comments section of this video. The date next to the name tells me how long ago the comment was made. So the oldest one, who is actually still here on that first video, is Little Poet Susan. My very first subscriber was Lana Indiana. Do you guys remember Lana? Lana hasn't been on YouTube for a long time. She used to do videos in her bathroom, and I loved Lana Indiana. Like I said, I never commented on the videos, so she didn't know me from Adam, but, you know, I knew her. I knew everything about Lana Indiana. And I would talk to my husband about Lana Indiana like she was somebody that I went to lunch with, you know, or whatever, and he'd say, "Who is this?" I'd say, "It's Lana Indiana." Lana hasn't been on YouTube in some time. She's living her best life in Florida. She don't live in Indiana no more. What lipstick do we want to put over this today? I need to start using, I've been using BK Beauty. See, I just used their liner. I've been using BK Beauty for so long, it's like all my other lipsticks are crying. So let's do this one. This is Natasha Denona, I don't know, mauve or something. I need a nude and something I can't read. I'll put all the products I use down below. Thank you for using my links if you decide to purchase. Anyway. I want to pay homage and special to these people for sticking with me. And as I've stated before, you may very well have been with me from the beginning of my channel, but I can only know about you if you've been leaving comments and corresponding with me, all right? So, but these people have, and I want to pay tribute to them and say thank you for sticking through. You know, don't get emotional. Don't get emotional. You're going to cry and be a baby. And if these people, because a lot of them do, have channels, I will list them below. The first one, and these are in no particular order, I already told you was Susan, Little Poet. And that's just because on my very first video, she left a comment, okay? So I don't know. It's been too long ago for me to know whether or not, you know, Carol is before Mary Ellen or whatnot. Robin H., Natalie the Beauty Diva, Carol from the old Carol Show, Mary Ellen used to be. How many of you remember what Mary Ellen's channel used to be? Now it's Mary Ellen After 60, but do you remember what her channel used to be called? List that below if you do, okay? I'm going to just test your memory. Bridget. Okay, I can't say Bridget's last name. I don't know how to pronounce it. You guys probably remember Bridget if you're a comment reader. She always leaves a comment that's like, alohas, you know, sunny alohas or whatever. Okay, she likes to do that. I remember this about her. I also remember that her name is Bridget. Don't call her Bridge. I called Bridget Bridge for years, and then I figured out one day, she told me, she's like, I actually don't like being called Bridge. I'm sorry. If I'm calling you something that you don't like, please let me know. Nicole Dodson, Kathy A. Beauty, Melissa 55, Kirib Spice, Benta, Laura Ray Beauty, Sherry G, Kristen 321, and Raspberry Beret. And naturally, it goes without saying that I love all of you, right? And you are the best part of the Fritzy family. If you're not having a blessed day, you know how you get one? It's really easy. Just say it with me. Go be a blessing to somebody else. And watch that day turn around. And until next time, love you, see ya. Bye. And I'm out.
We've been watching Boston Legal a lot. Denny Crane. Denny Crane. Denny Crane. Sorry. Hey. It's like this camera can hear me, right? Whenever I go, hey, and then it comes right back in focus. It's really weird. Changing up our eyeshadows by mixing them together. Stop that. I'm not going to tell you again. Pop goes the weasel. Denny Crane. I'm just twisting. Twist and shout. Reminds me of Chubby Checker. And come on, baby, let's do the twist. Come on, baby, let's do the twist. Strike a pose. Like a virgin, no one ever really believes. Just kind of, this is not a mirror. This is my phone, and it's telling me that my mom's security camera is on. Oh, you're never going to see in that. The first one I've already told you about is Little Susan from the Little... Wake up, little Susie, wake up. Did you hear the music that was in my head? Dun, 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 dun. Wake up, little Susie, wake up.